Hey there everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, XAI has released their latest model Grok 3 and the benchmarks do look impressive, and that's the reason why I thought why not bring all of them together. Let's have an head to head between all the state of the art pre-training models. Here it is. You have Grok 3 beta from XAI, Deepseek V3 which has been a very impressive model and free by the way, and Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and finally Gemini 2 Pro. Let's get started guys. So we'll be comparing them against max, reasoning, coding. The preview of them should be visible to you. So without further ado, let's get started. Guys, so let's move on to the first question, and you can pause and have a look at this question and try it yourself. So let's see which model gets it right. So let's send this to all the models. Okay, so the correct answer is east side. So let's see which model got it right. So Grok 3 gave us the correct answer, that is east side. Moving on, DeepSeek V3 gave us the wrong answer, that the west island appears to rise. And shockingly, even 3.5 Sonnet gave us a wrong answer, that west side appears to rise. Moving on to Gemini 2 Pro, even the Gemini 2 Pro actually gave us the wrong answer. That is fascinating. Let's do one thing. Let's give a retry. Let's retry on all these models to see if they stick with their answers or they change it. So let's rerun. Okay, so this time around Grok 3 gave us the wrong answer, that is west side, and DeepSeek V3 again gives us wrong answer. Even Gemini 2 Pro does the same, but 3.5 Sonnet gives us the right answer, that is east side. That is a tie between Grok 3 and 3.5 Sonnet. Let's do one more retry because I do think that these models are getting confused in this question. Okay, so we have it. DeepSeek V3 again failed, that is west side. Gemini 2 Pro says it's west side, and this time again 3.5 Sonnet has come to its conclusion of the west side, but this time Grok 3 actually got it right. It says it is east side. So comparatively we can see that Gemini 2 Pro and Deepseek V3 have completely failed it, but 3.5 Sonnet got it one time correct and Grok 3 was able to get it two times correct. Moving on, so now you can pause and have a look. This is our next question and it actually requires logical understanding. Let's see which model gets it right. So let's send this to all the models. Okay, so let's have a look at the results. So Grok 3 says the answer is option B, which is the correct answer. Deepseek V3 fails again, says the answer is C, but this time Gemini 2 Pro gets it right and says the answer is B, and 3.5 Sonnet gets it wrong. So now between Grok 3 and Gemini 2 Pro, let's see if they are able to actually get the correct pattern. So the correct pattern is BAA repeating 4 times. So let's see. So it says the option B is correct because BAA repeated twice, a clear repeating pattern. So that is also okay. Not the best reasoning I would say, but it's okay. Moving on, Gemini 2 Pro says that the repeating pattern is BAAB, which is actually wrong because you can't see the repeating pattern BAB. Here it is there, but where is it in the next ones? The correct pattern is BAA, BAA, like that. So although Gemini 2 Pro was able to get to the correct answer, but its reasoning was not correct. So again, Grok 3 takes a lead over here, but let's do one thing. Let's actually retry. Okay, so this time around, Grok 3 says the correct answer is D, 3.4 Sonnet says it's D, and V3 says it's C, and Gemini 2 again comes up with the correct answer, that is B, but again the reasoning is wrong. It says the repeating pattern is BAA, which is actually wrong. So we'll have to do one more try and let's see. So far only Grok 3 has been able to identify the correct pattern. In past 3.5 Sonnet has been able to do this, but for some weird reason it's not able to do it now. Okay, so on the third try we get a correct answer from Grok 3 and Gemini 2 Pro as always, but again 3.5 Sonnet gives us a wrong answer, that is A, and even Deepseek V3 gives us a wrong answer. If we check the actual reasoning what these models have done, you can see this time around Grok 3 was not able to understand the pattern. It says the repeating pattern was BAAB, which is actually not right, just as Gemini 2 Pro has been doing since the start. Again it gets the wrong pattern. Out of these all models and all of the tries, Grok 3 was able to get it right only once. So again a clear win for the Grok 3 model. Let's move on to the next question. So this next question asks for spatial reasoning and logical reasoning as well. The diagrammatic representation of the question will be present to you. Here you will be given some example grids and you have to predict what the pattern will be in the last grid. So let's see. Let's send this to all the models. So up until this point no pre-training model has been able to get it right. Will that change? Let's see. Okay, so we have the response and we can see that none of the models have been able to actually get the right answer. So since no model was able to get it right, let's move on to the next question. Okay, so moving on, this is a very hard reasoning question. You can pause and have a look at this. So let's see if any of these models actually get it right. It's quite hard for these models, but still let's give them a chance. So I will have to click new chat over here. Let's see. Okay, now it's working. So meanwhile 3.5 Sonnet has come up with its response. It says the answer is 4. which is absolutely wrong. They have to find out that in the new arrangement, whose seating arrangement hasn't changed. So there is only one person, and that is Q. So even if they don't get the correct person, they should at least get the number of people whose seating arrangement hasn't changed. So I think Grok 3 is done with its response. Okay, Grok 3 clearly identifies that there is only one person whose position has unchanged. Very nice. Moving on to Gemini 2 Pro, it says that there are 0 persons whose position has unchanged. So that's a wrong answer. Moving on to Deepseek V3, it says 2 persons. So all three models get it wrong. At least Grok 3 was able to get the answer partially right. Grok 3 seems to be winning this by a lot. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, so this next question needs very good understanding of the Cartesian plane and it needs good spatial reasoning. So let's send this to all the models. Let's see which one gets it right. Meanwhile, I'll show you the question. Let me show you on Gemini 2 Pro. So here is the question. You can pause and actually try it out. It's not that hard. So let's see. When you connect all the dots, the word that will appear to you will be artificial. Okay, so we do have a response from all the models. So if we have a look, it seems that Grok 3 doesn't seem to get it. Same stands true for 3.5 Sonnet as well. Although they are close, even Deepseek V3 seems to get it slightly, but I don't know what Gemini 2 Pro is doing. So whatever it is interpreting, I don't think that was the word. But anyways, let's do one thing. In this question, we'll actually give a retry. Let's regenerate on all these models. Let's see if there is any difference. Okay, so this time Claude 3.5 Sonnet gets it. It says the answer is artificial. Nice. Okay, even Grok 3 got it. What kind of secret conversation is happening between these two? So here you can see both of the models actually got it right, and Deepseek V3 on the other hand, I think has come with nearly the same response it had in its previous version. And meanwhile, Gemini 2 Pro says that it is hello world hi. In no way this could be the answer. It doesn't even get the number of characters right. So a very miserable fail for Gemini 2 Pro, but Grok 3 and 3.5 Sonnet got it right. I do think the only model that is actually able to keep up with Grok 3 is 3.5 Sonnet, although it's not the same, but at least it's better than these two. So let's move on to the next question. So moving on to the max section, this is our first question in max. Pretty easy, and it goes like this. In a certain non-leap year, January 1 was a Monday. What day of the week was April 1 of the same year? Let's see. So reasoning models usually get this right because actually you have to do a long calculation and they are very good at it. So okay, Grok 3 says it's Monday. 3.5 Sonnet says the correct answer that it is Sunday, and okay, Gemini 2 Pro as well says it's Sunday. Very nice. And Deepseek V3 says it's Monday. So we have two models who have got it right and two models that have got it wrong, and Grok 3 is one of them. That is interesting. Let's do one thing. Let's retry this question. Let's see if anything changes. So let's retry and let's rerun on Gemini 2 Pro as well. Okay, so 3.4 Sonnet again comes up with the correct answer, that is Sunday, and for some reason Gemini 2 Pro has stopped. We have to do a rerun. So 3.5 Sonnet got it right, and here, okay, again Grok 3 is getting it wrong. It says it's Monday. Clearly a wrong answer, and Gemini 2 Pro again gets it right, Sunday. And Deepseek V3 again gets it wrong, Monday. So these bottom two models, 3.5 Sonnet and Gemini 2 Pro, consecutively got it right 2 times. Grok 3 and Deepseek V3 got it wrong consecutively 2 times. So the tables just seem to be turning towards 3.5 Sonnet when it comes to mathematics, but let's verify that with our next question. Okay, so this next max question is based on geometry. You can pause and have a look and let's see. The correct answer is 19.58 something percent. So any response that is 19.5 or 19.6 I would consider as a pass, but they should actually get close to that. Will that happen? Let's see. Okay, so Claude 3.5 Sonnet finished first and it says the correct answer is 8.33%. And that is a fail, guys. Meanwhile, Gemini 2 Pro got it right. It says the correct answer is 19.55%. Awesome. That is good. Let's see what Grok 3 has done. Okay, Grok 3 again got it right. It says the correct answer is 19.55%. And even Deepseek gets it right. It says the answer is 19.56%. I think this is the first time I was able to get a non-reasoning model get a correct answer. So actually 3 of them got it right. So we'll have to give a retry. Let's regenerate on all of them. Let's see if there is any difference. Okay, so this time around things have changed a bit. Grok 3 again gets it right, 19.55%. Same does Deepseek V3, being more accurate this time, 19.55%. And 3.5 Sonnet gets it wrong, and it's way wrong compared to previous version. It says 25%. Gemini 2 Pro, it was right on the previous one, but this time it got it wrong, 9.76%. So clearly, out of nowhere, there is a head-to-head between Grok 3 and Deepseek V3. So let's give one more retry. And let's see if anything changes. Okay, so guys, so between Grok 3 and Deepseek V3, this time Deepseek has given the answer 25%, but Grok 3 did give us the correct answer 19.55% again. If we actually have a closer look, Deepseek V3 got the correct response, but it says However, considering the problem's context and the symmetry of the division, the most accurate and straightforward answer is 25%. So it did reach its conclusions, but it was not confident with it. So that is a fail, and we do have a winner here, and that's Grok 3. Absolutely awesome. With that being said, let's move on to the next question. Okay guys, so this is our next max question, and it's actually a question that no pre-training model gets it right. You can pause and have a look at it, but this time around what I'll do is I'll give these models some hint so that they actually able to perform a bit better. So I'm adding this sentence: please do complete manual collection right till the end. Only then you will get the correct response. So I'm adding this text, and this should actually help them to at least come with a better response. So let's see, send these to all the models. So let me tell you, I do have harder questions when it comes to max, but overly testing these pre-training models on max is not a very good thing to do because they are very miserable when it comes to max, and even a mediocre reasoning model will give you a better response. Okay, so we do have the server busy issue in Deepseek v3. So we actually might have a remedy to this. If you don't know, Kimi 1.5 is now generally available for free. So if you would like a comparison, do tell me down in the comment section. So let's see. So Grok 3 says the total balance is 5,260,000, which is wrong. 3.5 Sonnet says the same, 5,260,000. Gemini 2 Pro is slightly closer, 7,420,000, but all of these are wrong. The correct answer is 9,475,000. And just to show you, let me do one thing. I'll use the O3 mini model, which is also available for free, guys. And also I will remove this extra hint that we gave, and just let's see. Meanwhile, when Deepseek v3 is generating, let me show you the difference between the pre-training and reasoning models. And as I said you can see 9,475,000 spot on in 21 seconds. So max is not something that these pre-training models excel. So here you can see even Deepseek v3 has got the wrong answer, 2,410,000. So it's a fail from all the models, and I don't think we'll need a retry on this question. So coming to max, if the questions are elementary questions, then you can actually rely on these models. But other than that, I think that you are better off with the reasoning models. You can work with O3 mini because it doesn't take too much time as well, and it's most probably to give you a right answer in most of the cases. With that being said, let's move on to the coding section. I have my IDE set up over here, and we'll do some interesting stuff. Starting off with the first question, write a snake game in Python using PyQt5. So the reason I am mentioning PyQt5 library is because most probably they will default to using Pygame, and that is a very generic question. They might have been pre-trained to that question, and that's the reason they will surely give us the correct answer. That's not what we want. So we are testing them to give us the response in PyQt5, which is going to be a bit harder for them. So let's see. Okay, so again we do have the server busy issue. Let's regenerate. Okay, so we are getting a constantly server busy issue. So if you want to actually use Deepseek v3, let's just move on to open router, and here I'll have the Deepseek v3 model. So Deepseek v3 is over here. Let's send this question. The inference will be slightly slower, but we'll wait. Okay, so we finally have a response from all the models. So let's start with Deepseek v3, shall we? Let's copy the code. Let's paste it here. So immediately we don't see any kind of errors. Let's run this. And that looks awesome. Very nice. Deepseek v3 previously has been very good in coding in my previous testing. These are all very good models. That is awesome. Okay, game over. That's a pass from Deepseek v3. Moving on to Gemini 2 Pro. Let's copy this and let's run it. Okay, so I don't understand what that was. Let's run it. So for some weird reason, the starting box was very small. So this was not the correct way to actually give a response. So that's actually a fail from Gemini 2 Pro, and that's the issue with that. These models are very capable, all models in Gemini series, but they are very volatile. You can't actually predict what kind of a response they will come up with, and you will actually see that when we'll do this coding comparisons. I hope you'll be able to witness that how volatile they are. So moving on to 3.5 Sonnet. So this is a very good looking game. I would argue that Deepseek v3 had a better response, and just as we collide, the game just stuck. But having said that, let's move on to the talk of the town, Grok 3. Elon Musk has actually boasted about its coding performance. We'll know that. So immediately we don't see any kind of errors, and the warnings are also low. Let's run this, and that does work. Awesome. And let's do a collision. Game over. Click R to restart. Let's see. Awesome. So I would say comparatively came up with a better response. We had the restart option as well. But let's actually do one thing. This time around, we'll ask to make some changes and additions. So we'll respond. We'll just prompt the models, make it look better and give it a head and have a graceful snake-like movement. So it can be a bit hard for these models. But anyways, let's send the same prompt to all the models, and let's see how good they are when it comes to iteration. This is also a very important thing that should be tested. Okay, so we do have a response from all the models. So let's start it with Deepseek v3. How good will be the head and the snake movement? Let's see. Okay, so we don't see any kind of snake movement. It has change the color of the first cell. Let's run this again. Let's see if we are able to eat the food as well or not. Okay, I don't think that we are able to eat the food, and some weird reason it starts at the corner. So I would say this is a fail from the Deepseek V3 model. Moving on to Gemini 2 Pro. Let's see. Usually Gemini 2 Pro is a very good model when it comes to feedbacks. If you ask it to do better, it will come up with a very good response. Let's see. So let's run this. Okay, so it has improved a bit, but I don't know for what weird reason it is giving us a response in the small bounds. That is not what we want. Again, that's a fail from Gemini 2 Pro. Moving on, let's see 3.5 Sonnet. Did anything change? Run this. Okay, that does seem like an head, and the movement is pretty awesome. I do find it hard to eat the food, but just have a look at it. Oh my god, never have I seen a snake game like this. Just feels so real. Very good response from 3.5 Sonnet. And as we end, the game stucks. That is a very good snake, I have to say. The aesthetic performance of 3.5 Sonnet is very good. Moving on, let's see what Grok 3 has come up with. Let's copy this and let's run it. List index out of range. That is a fail. Grok 3 couldn't do it, whereas 3.5 Sonnet was able to. Okay, so Deepseek V3 is done with its response. Let's see if anything improves. Let's see, let's run this. Okay, so it straight up says game over without even letting us actually play. Now that's a clear fail from Deepseek V3 and nothing can be done about it. Meanwhile, let's see, Gemini 2 Pro, was it able to turn the tables? Okay, so the snake game is not working for some weird reason. Again, that is a fail. Moving on to Claude 3.5 Sonnet, it was already doing very good. I am truly excited to see what it has come up with. So let's run this. Okay, snake game, how to play, the instructions, start game. Oh my god, just look at it. That is absolutely awesome. I just don't have any words. Meanwhile guys, if you are enjoying this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more such awesome generations. Okay, so if we collide, the game stucks. And if we click R, it does restart, but it doesn't show us the option. But it gave us the instruction in the start, so can't blame it. Anyways, very good response from Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and let's see what Grok 3 has come up with. I do hope this time at least the code works. Let's paste it. Let's run this. Guys, look at it. I do think it's a bit similar to what Claude 3.5 Sonnet came up with. The body is not growing. So that was good, but nowhere near to Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Claude 3.5 Sonnet almost nailed in this particular question. So I have to give it a win for Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Meanwhile, Deepseek V3 and Gemini 2 Pro were not able to perform that well. Let's move on to the next question. So here you can see we are asking them to write a Python code for a hollow circle with an opening. There is a ball inside which bounces hitting against the walls, and this is the whole question. You can actually read it. So let's send this and let's see. Okay, so we do have a response from these models. Let's see. Starting off with Deepseek V3. Let's run this. Okay, that looks good. The bouncing is accurate, but I do wonder where is the opening. This seems to be the opening, but when it went there, nothing happened. Let's just wait and see what happens. Okay, so I waited for quite some time. I don't think there is an opening, and even if it's there, it's very too small. So that is what we have got from Deepseek V3. Meanwhile, let's see what Gemini 2 Pro has come up with. Let's copy this and let's see. Let's run this. Okay, the ball directly just escapes out. That's not a very good response. Let's run this again. Okay, now that is a fail. Let's see what Claude 3.5 Sonnet has come up with. Let's run this. Okay, so it's asking us the audio file. I said that no sound is required, but still it's asking for the sound file. I'll just mention no sound file will be provided. Give your best shot. Let's see. Meanwhile, let's see what Grok 3 has come up with. Let's copy the code and let's run it. Okay, so for some weird reason, it's just moving up and down over here. And that was fascinating. This time Deepseek V3 actually got a very good response. Although it was not a pass, but it was comparatively better. So we'll mention the ball is not moving and the walls of the circle are too thick. Give your best shot. So let's send this to Grok 3, and to Gemini 2 Pro we'll mention the ball is escaping the circle. The circle is not able to enclose the ball. Resolve this. It should only be able to escape via the opening. Let's send this. And to Deepseek V3 we'll just mention I don't think the opening is working. Also make the ball a bit faster. Give your best response. So let's see. Let's send this. Okay, so we have sent this updates to all the 4 models. Let's see what they come up with. Okay, so we do have a response. Let's see. Let's copy Deepseek V3's code. What improvements it has done. Okay, so we don't have any warnings or errors. Good. Let's run this. Okay, so it has made the borders thin. I instructed it to make the ball faster, and it has done it, but I still don't see any kind of opening. So I don't think there is an opening over here. Let's move on to Gemini 2 Pro. Let's see if there is any kind of improvements. Okay, so let's run this. It weirdly stays in the middle. Why is that? Let's run it again. That is a clear fail. For some weird reason it is staying in the middle for no reason. Moving on, let's see what Claude 3.5 Sonnet has come up with. Let's run this. Okay, so it's again asking for an audio file. No audio is required. Please give your best version without audio. Let's see if there is any improvement when it comes to Grok 3. Let's run this. Okay, so now the ball is stuck. So I do have to say that Deepseek V3 was the one which was comparatively better. I've seen these models actually perform better, but for some weird reason they are not able to do it now. So let's see. We have a response from 3.5 Sonnet. We did a retry just because it was asking for audio. It was trying to get the audio right. Let's see what the code actually looks without that issue. That looks way awesome. And I do think that the number of balls is increasing. Awesome. That is a clear win from 3.5 Sonnet. So 3.5 Sonnet is absolutely doing very good when it comes to coding. Actually, in my previous video, Gemini 2 Pro was the one that performed better, but that's the reason. Gemini series of models are very volatile. Sometimes they'll perform the best and sometimes they won't. So let's move on to some next more coding questions to get a clearer picture. So have a look at this question. So in this question we are asking it to generate a web page in which there is a mascot in the middle and its eyes is moving following the movement of my cursor. So let's see what they come up with. This is actually a real life scenario because if you go to the GitHub website, they have implemented something like this. So this is something that developers use. So, okay, so we have a response from all the models. I've also opened up React Viewer on ChatGPT Canvas. So let's test with Deepseek V3 first. Let's paste this. Let's preview. Okay, so it's asking us to upload an image. Why is that? I've clearly mentioned no external assets will be provided. Why is this asking it as an image? So that is not what we want. Let's move on to Gemini 2 Pro. What it has come up with. Let's copy this and let's paste it. Let's see the preview. Okay, that looks good. Let's click happy. It just feels the opposite of happy and surprised. So it does have two emotions. Happy is the default one and surprised is this one. The eye movement is also very nice. Okay, so if we go closer, you can see it makes a different expression. Okay, so now let's check out what Claude 3.5 Sonnet has come up with. Let's see and let's preview. Okay, that looks good. I don't know what to consider this. It's a smile or it's a shocking expression. We do clearly have the smile, but there is a slight border over here. Anyways, let's take the cursor tracking. Okay, the cursor tracking looks awesome, but I would say that Gemini's response was way better than this. This one looks clean, but it had more expressions. Moving on, let's see what Grok 3 has come up with. So let's copy this, let's paste and let's hit preview. Okay, so that didn't run. We can see that the best version was from Gemini 2 Pro, followed by 3.5 Sonnet, then followed by Deepseek V3, and Grok 3 for some weird reason couldn't give us. Yeah, so now let's ask them to draw. Okay, so this is what we are sending. Can you draw a dragon in a web page using HTML, CSS and JS? Make it look as real as possible. Do your best. So let's send this and let's see what we get. Okay, so we do have a response from all of these models. So let's first try Gemini 2 Pro. Let's copy this and let's paste it. Okay, that looks very much as dragon. At least I'm able to distinguish between the head and tail and body. Moving on, let's see what Deepseek V3 has come up with. Okay, so this is dragon according to Deepseek V3. Looks more like a bird with a beak. Moving on, let's see what Claude 3.5 Sonnet has come up with. So it feels like it is a front view of the dragon. It has a nose like a pig and those horns over there. Looks more like a pig than a dragon. Moving on, let's see what Grok 3 has come up with. Let's copy this and let's see. Okay, so this dragon brings the weird memories of Owen's generation. Owen does generations like this. So let's give feedback to all these models. Claude 3.5 Sonnet is done. So let's copy its response and let's see. Wow, that is insane. That looks absolutely like a dragon. Even the dragon is breathing. That's what I want. Absolutely awesome from Claude 3.5 Sonnet. It just has this weird bubbles. I think it was trying to make the skin texture, but it looks way awesome. And I think even better than what Deepseek R1 came up with. Now let's see what Deepseek V3 has done. Let's paste this. Okay, so at this point I can say that Deepseek V3 is getting nowhere. Let's see what Grok 3 has come up with. Let's paste it. Let me paste. Okay. It does look somewhat like a dragon, but not that. But it is nothing compared to what Claude 3.5 Sonnet came. Meanwhile, let's see what Gemini 2 Pro has come up with. Copy and okay. So I think it's the same response. Nothing much has changed. We said that it already looked good, so it didn't change much. So out of these, I have to say that Claude 3.5's response was in another league. I mean, just have a look at it. Anybody would say that it's a dragon. I do think that I have to create a dragon using 3.5 Sonnet and O3 Mini High in Blender. I will have to do that competition. Meanwhile, talking about this competition, we can say that Claude 3.5 Sonnet was better in creating the dragon compared to all of this. Then it was followed by Gemini 2 Pro and then on third I would say Grok 3 and Deepseek V3 being the last, I don't know what it was making. So with that, so let's move on to the final question, that is creating state-of-the-art Pac-Man game. So let's see which model is able to get it right. So these models are done generating. Let's see. The maze of Deepseek V3 doesn't look that promising. Anyways, let's test it out. Let's run this. Okay, so that is not working. So that is a fail from Deepseek V3. Moving on to Gemini 2 Pro. Let's see if Gemini 2 Pro was able to do something. By the way, the best version of Pac-Man I have got from Gemini 2. So let's run this. Okay. The game looks perfect, but I think it's way too fast. We'll just have to say that decrease the speed. So I think that we'll have, we have this option FPS. So I'll just reduce it to something like 10 FPS. Okay, now it looks a bit manageable and we are able to eat the ghosts. And it does give us a sound feedback. Nice. Meanwhile, let's see what Claude 3.5 Sonnet has come up with. Okay, so it has given us a part, and usually this is what Claude 3.5 Sonnet does. It just gives us in different parts. So we'll just say continue and we'll just see what Grok 3 has come up with. Let's copy this and let's test. Let's run. Okay, that didn't work. ND array is not contiguous. We'll paste this error and we'll say fix this issue and give me complete corrected code. Meanwhile, Deepseek V3, we have to do a lot to improve it. The maze is pathetic. Pac-Man is not able to move. Also, you need to improve. Please do that and give me complete code. And I think for Gemini 2 Pro, we'll say that improve the looks of Pac-Man ghosts. Their movement ghosts are moving relatively very fast compared to Pac-Man. Please give your best version. So this is what we are sending to Gemini 2 Pro. And I think Claude 3.5 Sonnet is also done with its second part. Let's see if it is done or it's asking that it will give more part. Okay, so it says that it will give more parts. So I'll just hit continue. And meanwhile, let's see what Grok 3 has come up with. I hope it is able to fix its error. So let's see. Let's run. Awesome. It does look pretty good, but the Pac-Man is not able to move. And also the ghost is moving weirdly. So we'll just mention the ghost is moving weirdly and also the Pac-Man is stuck. Please correct all these and any errors you find and give the best version. And I think that Claude 3.5 Sonnet is done with its final part as well. So we'll just ask combine all three parts into one. So this is what we have said. I hope this time it gives us a long code. Meanwhile, Deepseek V3 is still generating. I think Gemini got stuck due to its context length. So we'll have to hit a retry because there's no way we can increase the context length here in AI Studio. And actually it was able to give us a better response even staying within its context length. Okay, so Claude 3.5 Sonnet was able to manage the complete code in one single file within its context length, but still it gave us in different part. I don't know why it does that. Anyways, let's see. Let's run this. So two-dimensional stereo mixer. So this is a error related to audio, not the underlying code. So we'll just mention that fix this related to audio. And I think up until this time Gemini 2 Pro was the best, and I can clearly see that it is not able to complete the code within its context length. So I'll just ask it to continue from where it left off and I'll find a way to merge them. And meanwhile, Deepseek V3 is still generating. It's taking a lot of time. I think the servers on which Deepseek V3 is hosted, they are pretty slow. Okay, so now it's done. Let's copy this. I hope something is better in Deepseek V3. I do see two errors. Let's run this. It says maze is not defined. So that is a fail from Deepseek V3. Nothing can be done about it. And meanwhile, Claude 3.5 Sonnet has given us the updated code snippet. Okay, so let's just do that because it will take a lot of time to give us a complete code. So let's copy this part and let's find this class. I think it is this one. So let's replace the class. I think now it's way bigger. I hope it will work. So let's run this. That doesn't work. So let's send this error to Claude 3.5 Sonnet again. And we'll just mention that fix this error, give us complete code. Okay, so Gemini has given us the rest of the code as well. Let's do one thing. We'll just ask Gemini to flash thinking because its context length is high. So we'll just mention that, without making any changes, just merge the two code. Okay, so this is what we are sending. Don't make any changes, just merge them. Meanwhile, let's see if Grok was able to come up with something. Let's copy this and let's try it out. Okay, so still nothing. So Gemini 2 Flash thinking is done merging the codes and let's see. Let's run this. Okay, that does look awesome. That is nice. I think the speed is way high. So I'll just reduce the FPS to 5. I think that will be best. Let's run this now. Now it looks good. So please don't think that it is very jittery and all, because I have kept the FPS low just so that we are able to see. Anyways, it is not a correct way to give the code, but anyways, okay. I think that's a pretty good version, not the best I would say. Talking about Claude 3.5 Sonnet, let's see if it was able to correct its error. Now it looks good. Not so sure about the walls and tunnels because they are not properly spaced, but it is kind of acceptable. Let's see if we are able to eat the ghosts. Okay, we are able to eat them, and it looks like a pretty basic version, nothing special. So let's get rid of it. And yeah, this is what I would say. At the end, Gemini 2 Pro was able to give us a slightly better version, but looking at this initial impression, I would say that Grok 3 was better when it comes to general reasoning and max as well. But when it comes to coding, I don't think it's way ahead compared to 3.5 Sonnet or Gemini 2 Pro. Gemini 2 Pro is still, I would say, the best in coding, but it's not reliable and very volatile, just like the other Gemini models. I have said this in my previous comparison as well, where I compared Claude 3.5 Sonnet and Gemini 2 Pro. Even there, we could see that sometimes it will be performing way worse and sometimes it will be performing very good. It's true that, this kind of hallucination happens with all the models, but it's quite high when it comes to Gemini 2 Pro. And also, all these models are set at temperature 1. So these are default values, nothing that I have changed. So Elon Musk, just as he said that Grok 3 is still in beta and it will improve day by day. So we'll be looking at that. And also, this was just a random test. So I'll need some time to actually spend with these models, and also I'll be doing the ArcAGI benchmark and the code forces competition. With that, we'll be getting a even clearer picture. But just looking at the initial impressions, I would say that if you have to blindly pick any model, I think it will be Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Even after months, it is standing out to be a very reliable model, and I do think that GPT 4.5 will be able to defeat it. Anyways, this was the comparison. What do you think about it? If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.